array. Like I mentioned before, it has that single 12.2 megapixel lens on the back, and I actually think it's a pretty good sensor for the price tag. And even not for the price tag, I think it's still a really good sensor. This is like probably like a $500 or like $650 lens, I would imagine. I think the only problem is, to be honest, is the lack of multiple lenses. So you don't have an ultra wide or a telephoto or anything like that. You literally only get the wide angle lens, which, as I mentioned before, I think is okay when you consider all things considered. But I would have loved to seen something like the Pixel 5 camera on this thing, or even maybe like a Pixel 4 camera. Having that additional telephoto lens would have made this thing, I think, a better, advertisement in terms of the camera space. But I still think the single camera setup is totally fine for a lot of people. Now, another kind of mild disadvantage is no 4K at 60, only 4K at 30. I think that kind of is a little bit of an issue, especially in this day and age. We're getting 8K and all these other frame rates we can film in. But it makes me excited about the Pixel 5a that may be able to do 4K at 60, and maybe the Pixel 6 will be able to do 8K. Who knows? There could be something like that. But as of right now, that's kind of what we're seeing. And I think the back camera with its software enhancements and everything is actually not a bad look. I think it's actually pretty decent in my opinion. Now the front, you have an 8 megapixel sensor, and you can shoot full HD on here. Thank God it's not 720p. But again, it's another one of those points where we're getting 4K at 60 on the front of even budget phones in some cases. Unfortunately, we don't get it here, but I think it's okay for the most part. It's totally understandable. It's the budget phone of the year, so I think it's totally okay for the most part. So in terms of the front and the back camera, thumbs up for me. I think it's overall a good experience. Again, if this phone was like $1,000 phone, completely different story. It's a $350 phone, so it's totally expected if it messes up in a couple different areas. So in terms of that, thumbs up. Now move.